Bots. Welcome everyone to this dotacommentaries.com presentation. I'm LD. Joining me today is nobody yet. This will be a solo cast. On the Radiant side, we have Harrosh. On the Dire side, we have WAM. Two rather unknown Southeast Asian teams, if I don't say so myself. This match is being played for the Pro Dota 2 non-Pro Asian division. Yeah, I know it's quite a mouthful. Basically, the way it works is Pro Dota 2 has two divisions. They have a Pro division and a non-Pro division. They're each competing for separate prize pools. Within each division, there are there's an Asian region, a European region, an American region, and those games are being cast. Some by me, some by others, so you can definitely check out prodota2.com for all the details on that. Our draft does get underway. Invoker is the first ban. Can't say I'm surprised to ever see Invoker ban. He can be fun to watch if he goes for the Exhort build. I personally find the Quaswex a little bit boring for the spectators, especially because he tends to sit in lane, get a lot of levels, and not gank as much or be as active early on. The draft is proceeding rather slowly. Curious how it will develop. Ched is the reply. Important to note here, perhaps, that Harrosh does have the first pick. So clearly, WAM not valuing that Ched enough, or not willing to give that Ched away as a first pick. It's interesting to see how teams will ban or pick a hero, depending if they have first pick or not. Windrunner is the reply. And I just got to make sure my scoreboard is showing here. Okay, so in terms of what are the teams banning, well, Harrosh is banning very strong laning heroes. Just by no means a surprise. I mean, Windrunner and Invoker are always good heroes to have. Syllabear, another strong pushing hero, so it seems like while WAM is more focused on banning the pushers and the heroes that can jungle, although we normally see Syllabear in the lane, Harrosh more interested in banning out those strong solo heroes and sort of the strong lane controllers. Now, Syllabear is a good lane controller to be sure. In fact, one of the best in a 1v1 situation. But for now, none of these bans are too surprising. The Syllabear ban, a little bit odd. He's a strong pusher. His win rate is pretty low in Dota 2. He's also generally not that popular in the Southeast Asian scene. And actually, quick finishing bans here. So overall, it looks like Harrosh wants to ban those team fight heroes, those strong laning heroes. Panda not the strongest laner, but he's pretty good, especially if you pair him with a nice support here like a Crystal Maiden or maybe a Shadow Demon. And Lycan is the reply. So both teams clearly tipping their hands in terms of what they want to ban out here. Now, how they will draft is anybody's guess. Generally, my experience has been when I cast Southeast Asian games, they tend to go for very aggressive gank-oriented lineups. Heroes like Queen of Pain, heroes like even Anti-Age as a carry is pretty popular because of his mobility. Of course, Quaswex Invoker certainly fits that bill. Furion, or Nature's Prophet, will be the first pick. Not a surprise, he fits in very well with that aggressive ganking style. Earthshaker and Queen of Pain, the immediate replies. Earthshaker has been very popular in Southeast Asia lately, and I think with good reason. Sure, he's not the strongest offensive hero, but Fissure has really good range, and it allows you to snipe heroes and set up ganks, especially if you use smoke where you otherwise might not be able to. Queen of Pain, of course, a Southeast Asian staple to be sure, and she's been pretty good in general. A lot of players nowadays like to get 2 points in Shadow Strike early on. Ever since the buffs, I believe they were in 6.74. Shadow Strike hurts, man. I mean, even level 1 is good. Level 2 is ridiculous. And the other thing about it is your opponents won't be able to use any regen. So unless you're Invoker and you have Quas, you're pretty much going to be limited to tangos because that damage over time will prevent you from bottling up. You could try and bottle in between the Shadow Strike when it procs, especially at the low levels. But it's still super annoying in lane. Of course, she gives you a lot of burst damage, a lot of ganking potential. And the mobility. Now, what works versus Queen of Pain? Well, stuns and silences are the best way to stop her. Either that or just pushing really aggressively. That can be difficult, though. She has a good amount of AoE. Tidehunter will be the reply. A decent teamfight hero, of course. Never going to argue with the Tidehunter pick. He's very tanky for his support. Does not need many items. The one thing that can be an issue for teams is you'll often see the Tidehunter struggles to get a quick level 6. If he gets shut down early, he's not as useful as someone like an Earthshaker who's got a good AoE stun with really long range from level 1. Tidehunter, until he gets that Ravage, not going to be the most effective hero. Of course, that's not to say he's a bad hero. It's just that he needs level 6 more so than other sort of AoE supports like a Sand Cane, like an Earthshaker. Beastmaster will be the pick as the third pick, so a good pushing hero, a nice mix here of disables. The Hawk will give you some map control along with the Prophet, and map control is really the name of the game here for Harrosh right now. Nothing too unorthodox or unusual out of this draft so far. I'm hoping we'll see something creative, maybe a Juggernaut, maybe I don't know, Faceless Void, something a little off the beaten path. Although Faceless Void is not the most exciting to watch. Maybe a Storm Spirit. I want to see more of these action-oriented heroes. I mean, sure, Beastmaster can be aggressive, Prophet can be aggressive, but we've all seen them 500 times, so hopefully these teams will delight and surprise us as the draft develops. But for now, it is a very standard draft. Neither team really tipping their hand. Sure, you can push hard with Prophet and Beastmaster. You can also gank very hard with them. I mean, I like Harrosh's draft a lot from that standpoint. I'm always a big fan of teams not tipping their hand early on, leaving some flexibility with the lineup. And right now, Harrosh certainly has flexibility. They could go for a very push-oriented lineup. They could go for ganking. Really, the world is their oyster. And so WAM is going to have to be careful here with their draft. Their lineup right now really doesn't have any pushing power. They've got some AoE, some anti-push. And they could clear the creeps, but they don't have anything to bring down towers quickly. I would have mentioned Leshrac is in the pool. That's a hero that's been trending up a lot lately. Shadow Shaman is in the pool as well. I haven't seen him too much recently, especially not in Southeast Asia. But he would certainly fit the bill if you want some heroes that can be aggressive early, can push towers. This draft is very slow, I have to say. Both teams eating well into their extra time. Whoa, man! And indeed, it will be WAM who delights and surprises me as they pick up Axe. Now, the last time I was casting Axe, he went solo mid. This was in Dota 1, and he laid against the Templar Assassin. And Templar Assassin is one of the premier heroes in the Southeast Asian Dota 1 scene, especially to go solo mid because Refraction is so obnoxious. But Axe owned her because Battle Hunger means that she'll never have the defensive Refraction charges up. So obviously that particular matchup won't be in this game, as Templar Assassin has not been ported yet. But we might see a solo mid X. He can lane well against really anyone on the Radiant side, except maybe that Prophet. But he should be decent against Prophet. It will give you more anti-push. It gives you an initiator. X, sure, he wants a blink dagger, but with Battle Hunger, give him increased move speed. He can just sort of run in and be a nuisance. At the same time, though, he's not the most reliable initiation. I love the pick. I absolutely love it. Strong laning here. I'm very curious how will they play him. Will they put him into the jungle? Now, if X gets good creeps, he can actually, or if he gets lucky with his neutral creeps, he can actually out-level heroes that are in solo lanes. But that's if he gets lucky. If he gets unlucky, whether it's... And when I say lucky, I don't mean only with how often his counter helix procs. I'm also talking about, what neutral spawn. For example, if you get a bunch of Ursas, Ursa Warrior neutrals, or you get Centaurs, you're going to have a tough time jungling. But if you get, let's say the Dark Troll Warlord camp where they spawn the skeletons for the big camps, if you get lucky with your big camps, you can level up really quickly if you go to the jungle. But in my opinion, just purely juggling on Axe is a waste, because Battle Hunger is one of the best laning spells. Sure, you might think, well, pros are really good at last hitting, can't they just remove it? That's true, but only if they're able to approach the creep wave, which when Axe shows up in a lane, especially if he's popping out of the jungle, is not always the case. So we'll see how the draft develops. Enchantress will be the reply. I like this pick. It gives them, this is pretty traditional, almost a European lineup coming out right now. Very aggressive early on. They can put Prophet in the jungle or Enchantress. I expect we'll see Prophet soloing a lane now. Morphling as well. Nothing too unusual here. I mean, if you want to talk about a traditional lineup, Harrosh certainly fits the bill. You've got some good team fight, you've got a strong jungler, you've got the mobility of the Prophet. It's a well-rounded lineup. But I gotta say, I'm rooting for WAM right now. I did not have a favorite going into this match. But, if you pick Axe, you're gonna get my vote, especially in anything resembling a pro game. So I'm excited for this pick. Will they pick anything else unusual to go with them? Maybe something... I'm just gonna throw this out there. I have no idea if it makes any sense. It probably does not, because one thing they're lacking right now is lane control, and they need a support. But hey, I would not mind seeing an Omni Knight to go with that Axe. That would mean that has the potential for some pretty crazy team fights. Of course, Omni Knight is great with Morphling, who's already very hard to kill. Between the Repel, the Heal, and the Ultimate. And there's no natural Diffusal Blade carriers on the Radiant lineup. Witch Doctor is the final pick, so there's really nothing resembling a carry here for Harrosh. They're going all in with this early game aggression. They have a lot of pushing power. Witch Doctor actually one of the best pushing supports because of that Voodoo Restoration, or is that the Heroes of Newerth name? Because of his heal, in any case. He can actually push really hard, even with only 1 point in the heal. So if they want to go all in with the push, Beastmaster can get that Inner Beast, Enchantress can look for creeps with auras, and they can just push down the Dire towers pretty quickly. The Dire are a little bit lacking in terms of anti-push. The only reliable anti-push they have is Earthshaker, and he'll most likely be roaming, probably going to be pretty under-leveled. There you go, there's some more anti-push. Crystal Maiden, I think she's going to need to max that Crystal Nova first. Will also help fuel a lot of these mana-hungry heroes. The reason I say they lack anti-push, well, you might be wondering, sure, don't they have a morphling? Don't they have a Queen of Pain? They have some good AoE. They do. The problem is these heroes, generally, in order to use their AoE, have to get into the thick of the fight, and you really don't want to be doing. You don't want to be waveforming into, into a tidehunter, into a witch doctor, into a beastmaster. Of course, the enchantress with all her creeps. You don't want to be going in that close, as it will be very easy to bring you down. Same for the Queen of Pain. She does have to walk close to the creeps to use that Screw and Pain, and the Sonic Wave is a long cooldown. Before I talk more about the matchup and how these teams are sort of interact with each other, let me introduce the players. Gameware River is going to be handling that morphling. He will be heading to the safe lane and looking to farm a bit. Kamina, never mind. I don't know if these are their real names. Looks like we are going to see that Axel mid. I love this decision. I'm so excited for this. Mayo going to be playing the Earthshaker. Looks like it will be a support Earthshaker. I believe he bought the Courier. Yeah, he did buy the Cur. And Crystal Maiden bought some wards, bought a smoke. She'll be playing a hard support. Of course, no surprise there. Samuni Celebi going to be playing that Queen of Pain. Looks like she'll be soloing the Suicide Lane, or that would be my guess anyway. Right, sorry, I forgot to mention the name. It's Gameware B. Meanwhile, for the Radiant side, with the very boring traditional lineup, they do like a carry, so who knows, maybe we'll see something creative like a carry Witch Doctor. Speaking of that Witch Doctor, he's being played by Admiral Linksys. Curse of Drakan, going to be handling that Prophet. Park Bomb on the Tidehunter. Looks like it will be a farming Tidehunter, as he has spent all of his gold. Or at least not a hard support. This is Sparta Lim, going to be on that Beastmaster, and Euterpe going to be on that Enchantress. So let's talk about this Axel mid if he goes there, which I think he's going to based on the way they're positioning themselves. He's actually very strong in lane, especially against heroes that don't have the best last hitting ability. If you're a melee hero like a Beastmaster or Tidehunter, you do not want to lane versus Axe. The reason for this is, yeah, Beastmaster can last hit with the axes, but they're pretty expensive. He can't completely rely on that. Battle Hunger is a very low cooldown. It is quite cheap to cast compared to other spells. It does a lot of damage, and if you go next to the creeps to last hit when you're melee, well, you're going to take some counter helixes. Meanwhile, you're taking that Battle Hunger damage, and if, God forbid, Axe gets a point in Berserker's Call and gets some lucky spins, that could be an easy first blood. So Beastmaster are going to be rushing a Bottle. Bottle is not the most useful item against Axe. Of course, it is the traditional solo mid item, especially for Beastmaster, who wants to be controlling the runes. But Battle Hunger will prevent you from bottling up, so it's really going to come down to the technical skill of these players if it is an Axe versus Beastmaster, which I'm not sure it will be. I just think that's how they're going to lane it. But yeah, don't underestimate this Axel bit is what I'm trying to say. It has a lot of potential. And he can gank pretty well. Of course, Battle Hunger lets you move faster. Helps your allies to chase as well. And if you cast on multiple enemy heroes, it can be a pretty decent pushing spell just because everyone on the enemy team is slowly losing life. They're forced to spam their nukes, so they might not be able to harass you as well. This Axe solo mid, I'm telling you, it has worked very well in some games I've watched. Other games, not so much, but it has potential. If he gets a quick Blink Dagger, or even just a quick Vanguard, Vitality Boost, or something like that, suddenly he becomes a real nuisance. Yeah, and I mentioned the Crystal Maiden as anti-push. She's going to have to max the Nova early. You're going to need a way to deal with the Enchantress creeps, the Furion creeps. Yeah, Frostbite's a little bit better against the Enchantress creeps, but there's just going to be so many summons coming their way. I expect to see a Nova max. It's really their only reliable AoE anti-push, aside from the Earthshaker, who, as I mentioned, will probably be fairly underleveled this game. Earthshaker, starting with 5 Clarity, is going to be roaming a lot from the looks of it. If you see a lot of Clarities on a support hero, especially an Earthshaker, expect to see them roaming. If anyone's wondering what's going on, we are waiting for one of the players to reconnect. It is WAM Zanzan, who's played that Queen of Pain. He's still sitting in Fountain, has not purchased anything yet. I think I've pretty much said all I can about these lanes. Let's see, is there anything else to mention? Well, it looks like Enchantress is defensive jungling. She does have a Smoke of Deceit. There will be no wards in her jungle. So Queen of Pain could be in for World of Pain, as could the Axe. Now, I said Axe can be pretty good in that one-on-one matchup. He's not going to be happy about getting ganked by an Enchantress, especially if a Witch Doctor joins him in the party. That could be very difficult. As Axe is not that tanky early on. I mean, if you get lucky with your helixes, you can definitely 1v1 a melee, but you do not want to be tanking an Ursa Warrior, a Centaur, even a Dark Troll Warlord. He just doesn't have the HP pool to support that early on, even with the Stout Shield. So we are just continuing to wait here for one of the players to reconnect. Tidehunter got Gush at level 1. This implies he will not be soloing. Normally, a solo Tidehunter will go for Anchor Smash. because it costs a lot less in terms of the mana pool, and it's good for farming and last hitting. Normally Anchor Smash will be max first, or at least you'll get 2 points in it by level 3, and then you'll go back for Gush. So while I think based on his items he might be soloing, I'm not sure that he will. If he does solo, Morphling is going to have a fantastic time. And it's really going to be up to the Enchantress and maybe the Witch Doctor if she roams with him to help shut that down. Prophet can certainly take a Queen of Pain solo. Pretty even matchup. Maybe give a slight edge to the Queen of Pain just because Shadow Strike is so good in those one-on-one situations. Finally, Queen of Pain reconnects, and that's actually Tsunumi Celebi. I guess the name was changed. Also known as Zanzan. Sir Faster, IGTG. I gotta go, man. I am inclined to agree with this guy. We have been waiting quite a while, very patiently, so... of course, that being said, I believe the Radiant were the ones keeping WAM waiting to begin with, Harrosh, so gotta mind your manners, guys, as you were the ones who delayed the game to begin with. Looks like we're ready to go here, so we will be unpausing momentarily. The hero to watch will be the Axe. I mean, how can you not focus on this guy? So my eyes will be absolutely attentive towards that middle lane. If we do see the solo mid Axe, which it looks like we will, he's not rushing a bottle. Sometimes you will see Axe rush a bottle, but is he going to go mid? Who's going to go mid? Nobody going mid right now. No, Axe going to head back towards mid. It looks like he's a little confused without his laning assignment. Queen of Pain still not leaving the base, still not buying anything. Might be disconnecting again. For now, Enchantress, actually she will be offensive jungling. Heading into the enemy jungle, I don't believe Axe spotted her. Beastmaster will have the creep advantage in terms of blocking the creep, so he'll have the high ground, which is not the biggest deal in melee versus melee. Looks like we might see a gank heading towards the middle lane. I'm not sure if this will be too effective. Queen of Pain still AFK, finally starting to buy some items. Axe doing a little bit of harassment. Until he hits level 2, don't expect to see too much. Yeah, guys, if you wanna win a game of Dota, best advice I can give you is show up to your lane on time. The roaming continues here from the Dire. They're heading all over the place. This Radiant Ward will not only block the pull, it will also spot the rotation, so nice placement there. Speaking of the rotation, Enchantress is heading in as well. Just gonna do a little farming for now. Looking to hit level 2, most likely, before she ganks. Axe has come out. The spins! Nice spins going Axe's way. Kamina gonna be doing a good amount of damage. He is going for Battle Hunger. I love the choice. You gotta be careful about when you spam it. Battle Hunger is all about the timing. If you use it right before they deny creep, then it's a total waste. Oh, Enchantress might be in a little bit of trouble here. Nice fissure block come out from Earthshaker. Enchantress trying to tango through. Will be to get away. Prophet TP's in as well. Neck goes on Earthshaker. The gank getting turned around. The gush was applied, and we are going to see a first blood. Earthshaker drops. Will there be any other kills? I don't think so. In fact, Morphling might be in a little bit of trouble here. Waveform's out. Very defensive play. Oh, and Crystal Maiden going to be looking to go down. Yep, Crystal Maiden will go down. Quick double kill for the Radiant. The chase continues. Morphling has the mana for Waveform. The problem is he's taking a lot of right-click damage. Needs to be morphing to strength. Not morphing to strength. Doesn't have the mana to do it. He's trying to juke. He's salving in the trees. Will he waveform out? He will waveform out. Nobody waiting for him on the other side. Tidehunter very low. Will be salving up and maybe coming back in momentarily. The chase continues. This poor Morphling just getting absolutely bullied in the middle lane. Meanwhile, Axe going on the aggressive here. I mean, this is the power of an Enchantress and a Prophet. Even if the fight looks like it's going well for you, suddenly the Prophet TP's in. The Enchantress has that extra creep. And you can just win that right-click war. Especially with the help of the Tidehunter. The minus armor is so nice to combo with all those units just auto-attacking. In the middle lane, Axe actually losing this battle, the boar being applied to him. I like the choice to go for the boar in the lane, as you can kite Axe pretty effectively. You don't have to worry about him getting too close. A lot of this lane is dependent on Axe having a good start, and right now I don't think he's having the best start. Let me take a quick look at the farm here. We're seeing 12 creeps for the Morphling. That looks like Enchantress might be going down. Not sure why she stayed around that long. Really often no man's land, or no woman's land, no Bambi land. See ya, Enchantress. She goes down too. A lot of kills. This is Southeast Asian Dota at its finest. A kill per minute, almost guaranteed. But yeah, talking about this middle lane, Axe is getting outpushed right now. He's up to 11 creeps. Beastmaster 10-3, 11-1 for the Axe, so pretty even in terms of the creeps. The problem is Axe is not getting... I mean, he's really not feeling comfortable walking up to the creep wave and tanking all that nuke damage. So he's getting outpushed, even though Beastmaster doesn't have the aura. Well, I say he doesn't have the aura, then he goes back and picks it up. I like the choice. Battle Hunger being cancelled repeatedly. Axe will be applying it. Counter Helix as well. No, just spinning actually. Or excuse me, no Berserker's Call as well. So you see Beastmaster taking a decent amount of damage here. HP dropping rather rapidly. But he's going to have to use the axes. Yeah, he does use them. The Hawk not being micro. Should be using that to scout. So the rune is spawning relatively soon. So let's talk about the trade-offs in this game. Morphling is getting a decent amount of farm. Even though he died, he's up to 14 creeps. Axe is getting good farm. Queen of Pain's having a decent time down in the bottom lane. What is the Radiant getting in return? Well, they're getting a Beastmaster who's controlling the runes. He's leveling pretty quickly. Once he hits level 6 with this ganking style build, going for the Hawk first, getting that level 3 Hawk up. They really want to be aggressive, they want to be pushing towers, going for map control. Beastmaster looking to maybe put a dive onto the Axe. No, he's going to back off. So you're basically trading a Morphling farm for a lot of map control on the Radiant. Prophet TPing in, is he going to jack the rune? He will. Oh, poor Axe. Not going to be happy about that. Queen of Pain really could contest these runes, but she's getting kind of out-leveled here. Only level 4, 1 point in Shadow Strike. Oh, sorry, I missed it. Action on the top lane, as we do see Earthshaker going down again. The Radiant getting the better of this battle. Witch Doctor with that heal, so hard to bring down. Crystal Maiden goes down. Ursa Clap does come out. The chase going the other way. Tri-lane on tri-lane, but whenever there's an enchantress in the mix, generally that lane is going to have the edge, just because of those creeps. Doing so much damage. Yeah, this is a lot of roaming early on, I'm not going to lie. I love the Witch Doctor picking up the heal. Just a 1 point in Voodoo Restoration, so good at keeping everyone alive. And it's not that it's not that it's not that expensive in terms of mana, just to get the 1 point. You can see the way that it scales is 8 mana per second. And then the mana goes up a lot, the heal doesn't go up as much. So even just getting 1 point, very good early on. Then you can go back to Cask and then eventually to Maledict. Beastmaster has hit level 6, has the boots up, has 200 gold in the bank, seems to be winning this lane overall. Of course, Axe has not had the best luck, but, you know, hey, them's the breaks when you pick a hero like Axe. So, looks like the Dire continue to roam. Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker are very underleveled. One of the dangers of running a tri-lane, running these roaming supports, if you don't have a good start, you can end up extremely underleveled. You compare that to the Enchantress, she's level 3. Roar going out on the Crystal Maiden, not sure that's the correct choice. Great Fissure block, Axe with the ultimate, immediately Prophet TP's in. Centaur cleaning up the Crystal Maiden. Chase continues, Battle Hunger doing a lot of damage. Prophet, no TP, he could go down soon. Hawk, or the Boar being so annoyed, Axe has come out to clean that kill up. Prophet on the run, one more Battle Hunger should secure this kill. He just has the mana for it, expect to see Prophet going down momentarily. Interestingly, he got 2 points in the Nature's Call if he had that level. Oh, in comes the heal. Will it be enough? I don't think so. Battle Hunger does so much damage. Oh, the heal! It's not going to be enough. Now Witch Doctor's in a little bit of trouble here. This Axe, I tell you, man, look at Battle Hunger. He's level 4. He's got that level 4 Battle Hunger up if he wants to go for it. That is a lot of damage. I believe it's 500 before reduction over the course of the duration. Ravage going out of Morphling. Morphling going down solo to a Tidehunter. That is not something you see very often. And really, if you're Morphling, you got to be more aware. I mean, you should have a little bit more HP up. As Prophet TP'd in, they're looking to get a push going. And that's the power of the Prophet. You got to kill, transition immediately into a push. And who's going to stop it, really? You've got a level 2 Earthshaker, maybe a level 3 Crystal Maiden, who's gotten a point in the R early. I expect to see the Nova Max next. That's just not enough. It's not enough anti-push. Tower will go down. Queen of Pain still farming in the bottom lane. Only level 6, despite Prophet roaming a lot. He's keeping, pretty even in terms of the levels. After 7 minutes, I was going to say after 10 minutes, but it's actually only been 7. This game has just been that action-packed. Already a big gold lead for the Radiant. Can't say I'm surprised. They're leading in terms of the towers, they're leading in terms of the kills. Tidehunter with Arcane Boots up, they're getting all of the core support items up. Gonna be able to push very effectively early on. And it looks like the push will continue in the top lane. Plenty of mana to go around. Cast bouncing from the Witch Doctor. Waveform in from the Morphling, but he's not going to get too much done. Tidehunter going in. Roar coming down. Crystal Maiden. Big Sonic Wave for the Queen of Pain, who did TP in. Should be able to at least pick off that Tidehunter. No, out of mana right now. Waiting for the Scream Pain to cool down. This Witch Doctor keeping everyone alive. Fissure coming out. Looks like Axe. Oh man, a 3-man Berserker's Call. That could be huge. For some reason, choosing to use. It looks like Witch Doctor might go down. One more auto attack will do it. For some reason, not choosing to use that Battle Hunger on the very low HP Witch Doctor. Not sure about that decision. Fissure will be online in a second. Decent Fissure coming out. At least he didn't block the Axe away. Beastmaster in a little bit of trouble here. One Berserker's Call. The ultimate comes out. Culling Blade to clean up that kill. Morphling, meanwhile, getting bullied. You got to keep in mind this entire time Morphling is not farming, and he's going to die again. Enchantress only level 3. She's really under level 2. Is going to get level 4. Axe continued to be a nuisance. He still doesn't really have any tank items. Big Nova on 2 heroes. Might see 3 kills coming out. They need to make sure to finish on Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor goes down 15 kills in 8 minutes. So this is Southeast Asian Dota at its finest, folks. The chase going back the other way. The Boar being such a nuisance. It looks like a medallion was picked up on the... Interesting choice. This is making enchantress very squishy. Only sitting around 500 HP. Gush going down earthshaker. He's still level 3. Ravage up in 5 seconds. This could be a huge triple kill for the tidehunter if he gets off the ravage. 2 seconds. 1 second. Will he ravage? Drops the ravage. Hits all 3. Looking to run away now. Trees coming in this fight. Will not end. Looks like the battle hunger should be enough to bring down the enchantress. Meanwhile, tidehunter picks up another kill. This time on the crystal maiden. Morphling still not farming this entire time. Mid tower getting pushed down. Holy crap, that fight just will not end. Give me a chance to breathe here, guys. Another tower going the way of the Radiant. So after it's all said and done, a whopping 2 minutes later, the heal coming in. tidehunter almost dying to battle hunger. Not going to be quite enough. Morphling still not farming. He's just sitting on the Rain of Health. Now, when you buy the Rain of Health, you want to be farming. This is a laning item. It does nothing for you if you're in team fights. I'm sure right now he'd much rather have something like maybe a Wraith Band, maybe working towards the Rain of a Kill, just some basic stats. The regen's okay if you get to sit in lane and farm. But, Morphling's not getting that opportunity. 2 towers already going the way of the Radiant. They have a big advantage here. I gotta say, Axe has been contributing a lot. It's just the rest of the heroes not too much. And this is the danger of giving up so many strong early game pushing heroes, so much team fight control. So much map control, really, in general. Cast coming out, I believe it's a level 3 cast. Yep, maxing the cast first for that pretty reliable disable. Witch Doctor is not the most popular support, but if you're up against a team that doesn't have any minions, he becomes a lot more effective. If you have something like a Furion, or excuse me, a Nature's Prophet or a Chen on your side, then the cast is not going to do as much, because sure, you might slow down the minions, but it's less likely to bounce to the heroes. Yeah, this is, I mean, even Axe, he wants farm, he really needs a bit, he needs a vitality booster, I would say, right now. Even a bracer would be helpful. It's just hard for Axe to run into the middle of these fights and survive against so many nukes. Let's take a look at the map control. Just sort of see where the lanes are right now. This is a good way to gauge who's winning a game, generally. This is the Dire Fog of War. You can see they're actually holding on okay. Normally when you're up against a Prophet, a Beastmaster, and an Enchantress, a lot of strong pushing here as you expect to be behind. Gank heading towards Queen of Pain, who has been spending almost this entire time farming. She might be in for some trouble, yet Roar comes out, Gush to follow, Anchor Smash to follow, Axes as well. There's a kill on the Queen of Pain, who is not having a good time. Meanwhile, huge backstab from this Witch Doctor. No idea what he was thinking, but he's going to go down. Fissure not going to be used on the Prophet. I feel like they could have made it go there and turned it into 2. Axe just using that ultimate on cooldown to secure kills. I'm totally fine with that. His ultimate gives your team a lot of increased move speed, so it can be good for following up. Axe in a little bit of trouble, but gets gushed, gets slowed by the boar. He's barely moving at all. Fissure coming out of the Beastmaster, but the tower not obliging him, targeting the boar. The fight going the other way. Ravage on 2, big Ravage coming out. Axe going to go down. This game not looking too good right now for a Dire Heroes. Morphling can do nothing but farm as Axe dies. Double kill for the Prophet, who's pretty rich at this point. Yep, 1700 gold. Queen of Pain TP's in. Cast bouncing. Will it bounce enough? Maledict! Oh, Sonic Wave not going to be enough. Only hitting the tidehunter, and Queen of Pain sure to die. No, it's only a level 1 Maledict. She'll be okay. Sprout on the Crystal Maiden. Man, everyone on WAM right now just looking so under level. This is not a good situation to be in. Big blanket for Queen of Pain! I gotta say that was pretty much just a feed. Oh, the heal from the Witch Doctor doing absolute work. Level 1 heal, keeping everyone alive in these team fights. Blake going the other way, Crystal Maiden drops the Nova. Pretty much the Dire just feeding here, going in one at a time. You cannot do this against the Radiant lineup, as they are all very strong in these 501 situations. I mean, hell, what heroes aren't? But, you've got the slow from Enchantress, you've got the Impetus, you've got the Sprout, you've got the Gush, so many good chasing abilities, plus the Boar as well. All Morphling can do this entire time is farm. Let's take another look at the gold graph. It's 10,000. Let's see our item progress. Oh, sorry, I should have left that open a little bit longer. Gold graph showing a very big lead here for the Radiant. Heck, are you surprised, guys? I'm certainly not. 3 towers going their way. Meanwhile, in terms of item progression, looks like we're going to see maybe a Necronomicon, maybe a Force Staff from the Prophet. I don't think this will be an Aghanims, although that wouldn't be a bad choice. Hood of Defiance, a pretty farm Tidehunter who's getting initiated on here. Drops the Gush. We may see Tide go down, but he's quite tanky at the moment. Another Battle Hunger being applied. Man, he's so hard to bring down. And once you start getting once you get a pipe up on the Radiant, they're really not going to care about this Axe. So Axe, really needs a good start. He's a very momentum-based hero, similar to something like a Storm Spirit or a Queen of Pain. If he gets a good start, he can be completely dominant. If he doesn't, he can be completely shut down. But let's finish our item progression check here. Vitality booster up on the Beastmaster. I like this choice. Just tanking up Enchantress with the Medallion and the Arcane Boots. They could go for a pretty early Roshan. Have not made a move towards it yet, but with this map control, if they get the lanes pushed in, maybe get a hero kill or two. Could definitely see them go towards it. Meanwhile, on the Dire, the Perseverance is the choice. Linken's will be the choice for the morphling. Now, I gotta criticize this. I don't like Linken's unless you have a good start. Or even if you have a bad start, if your team's doing okay, it can be a fine choice. Linken's is a farming item. It's a small engagement item. It will do nothing for you in these big team fights. The regen will not keep you alive in these team fights. So morphling, because he's going for Linken's, I mean, if I'm on the Radiant, I'm just 5-manning mid right now. Because not only do you have a big lead to begin with, but there's a morphling who cannot contribute. Yeah, and that hood gonna be really important once it turns into a pipe. A lot of magical damage from this Dire lineup. In fact, they are very reliant on magical damage. It's gonna be completely negated. Speaking of that pipe, he's got the headdress up. He's only about 900 away, 850 away from completing the pipe. I'm going to pause here and have a drink of water, except I'm fresh out, so I'm just going to have a brief pause to catch my breath as we see a push commencing on the middle lane.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Just checking chat here to make sure that nobody is having any issues with the lag or, you know, with the volume. Seems like everything's okay. Roshan and Ted will commence the medallion plus the gush. Roshan having a lot of minus armor, going to be very easy to bring down. Radiant have a nice lineup, and they have played it to perfection. I love this choice. Immediate smoke after completing Roshan. Very aggressive play. And this is an aggressive lineup. I talked about in the pregame. They don't have a carry. So what's the best way to handle that? Don't let their carry farm. Sure, Morphling's getting a little bit of farm, but now you've got an Aegis. You're about to go for the tier 2 bottom. Then you can rotate mid. As long as the Ravage is up, the Dire really can't take a fight. Or at least it's going to be very difficult for them to. Axe cannot initiate yet. He doesn't have a blink dagger. He's sitting on a cloak. You can just tell by the way the Dire's playing. They know they're on the back foot. They know they can't take a fight. They're all grouped up in the jungle, hoping someone on Harrosh's side will make a mistake, but so far that is not the case. I am hoping to cast the Dustbin game for anyone who's... I see some people are talking about that. If I can get the replay. Unfortunately, that game was not ready, so I'm not live cast yet. Prophet on playing defense here. Necronomicon level 1 up. I love the choice. He is going for more push. And when you look at the R's of the Radiant, even the level 1 Inner Beast still pretty good. You're going to see some R's hopefully on the Enchantress creeps. Oh, Prophet might be in for some trouble here. He does not have the Aegis, not popping the Necronomicon. Will we see a buyback? Enchantress TPing in. Nice blink away from the Queen of Pain. Necronomicon was used at the last second there. Queen of Pain trying to TP out. We'll be able to get away. Well played in the end. I mean, they got the Prophet. That was pretty big. I'm actually a little surprised that he did not have the Aegis. I guess the Enchantress is quite squishy. But to me, the Prophet would be the best carrier for that. As everyone else is very tanky at the moment. Morphling getting slowed by the boar. Haste the Beastmaster. Roar comes out. What's your Perseverance going to do for you now, son? Not a whole lot. Maledict ultimate being applied. See a Morphling, I think. What level is that Maledict? Yeah, it's only level 1. That's still going to be enough. Tidehunter comes in to clean it up. He's getting very close to that pipe. Oh, it is not looking good. If you're a fan of WAM, guys, you better pray to your gods right now, because I gotta say, Harrosh is executing flawlessly. They went for the aggressive early game lineup, and they're just playing it to perfection. The push is commencing on the top. I expect to see a drum coming out soon from somebody, just to give them a little bit more pushing power. Oh, where's the anti-push on the Dire? Not only are they underleveled, and when I say underleveled, I mean severely underleveled. Level 5 Earthshaker, level 6 Crystal Maiden. Compare that to the Radiant supports. Level 7, level 8. More importantly, they have items. Tidehunter with a pipe, a very fast pipe. Witch Doctor with treads, as well as a magic stick. And even the Enchantress. You got a point booster, got arcane boots, got a medallion. That's a very farmed Enchantress. It's looking bad, folks. It's looking bad. I'm not going to say the game's over, but they're going to have to pull something out of their hats. I think if they let the Radiant get to the high ground or start breaching the tier 1 tower, they're just going to straight up lose. All the Radiant need to do is 5-man. The one way they can lose the game is maybe a whiffed Ravage, but let's be honest, the level 2 Ravage, pretty hard to whiff against heroes with virtually no mobility. Well, Queen of Pain is Blink, Morphling has that waveform, but 3 pretty easy to catch heroes. Push continues. This is going to be one of the fastest racks I've cast recently. Fissure used defensively. You can see it just doesn't matter. Pipe being used. Mechanism. They don't have a mechanism. That's the only thing they're really missing, but it's not too big of a deal. Tower will take a bunch of damage here. Gush going out on the Axe, just very... You know, sort of kind of trying to usher the Dire back at the moment, and it's working. Enchantress in the front lines. This is why they gave her the Aegis, doing a lot of damage with that impetus. So good for harassing. Of course, she is pretty mana intensive, but she'll come right back. The tower goes down. The racks are now being pressured. Not sure why the Necronomicons aren't just focused in the tower. Tidehunter maybe looking for a Ravage. This would not be a bad opportunity. Cast bouncing everywhere. Big Sonic Wave coming out, but it is going to be 2 kills. Most likely 3 kills. Aegis does go down on the Enchantress. Roll right now. Queen of Pain will go down, and it looks like we're going to see a 20-minute Rex. Actually, scratch that, 19-minute Rex. Coming out from Harrosh. Absolutely dominant play for them. Meanwhile, Earthshaker does go down to Enchantress, who pops the heal. Who cares if she has 800 HP? She's still tanky thanks to that heal, thanks to the Witch Doctor, who did die at some point during that phase. Wait for him, just not doing enough. Everyone on the Radiant, so freaking tanky right now. All these support items, the hood, the pipe, the Axe ultimate, a little execution on the Prophet, who immediately buys back. He'll TP back in. Upgrades his Necronomicon and buys back. This guy is filthy rich. And in fact, it's a level 3 Necronomicon. Axe on the chase, waveform in. Tidehunter might go down. He's pretty tanky though. He's bought a drum. He's still got 1,000 gold. Holy crap. Everyone on the Radiant. Filthy rich. Initiation for the Prophet and the Beastmaster. Played very aggressively here. The spins coming out from Axe. Will it be enough? Big spins from the Axe. Not enough in the end. Queen of Pain might be able to clean up what Axe could not. Gush coming out. Queen of Pain on the retreat. Should be on the retreat. Axe is not going to hit, rather. Queen of Pain blinks away. Okay, so let's just take stock of this game. 37 kills in 20 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 towers down. Actually, make that 8 towers down. Roshan was done. This is one of the more action-packed games I've ever cast. Sproik is right. And you can see, Morphling with Perseverance. He's forced to morph a lot of it to Strength. This is the correct choice. But it's not enough. I mean, he's still very squishy. I don't think his item selections would have made too big of a difference. But, you know, every little bit helps. You can never say for sure. All I know is that regen does not help you in team fights. Even though these team fights have lasted a minute or two, Morphling honestly is not really contributing for more than 30 seconds at most. And in that situation, just stats items are going to do a lot better for you. Aside from that, I mean, you just got to give a lot of credit to Harrosh. They picked a very aggressive early game lineup. They used the Enchantress and the Prophet effectively to dive towers, to push towers, keeping the pressure up all game. They went for the correct items as well. They went for a drum, they went for a pipe, went for a Necronomicon. Very cheap, effective pushing items. Medallion on the Enchantress to help them do Roshan. Is there anyone else's items I haven't mentioned? Well, Witch Doctor tanked up, but even with the Witch Doctor, he got that level 1 heal early. We saw how effective it was at keeping them alive. This is why you don't give away Prophet plus a jungler away. When I say jungler, I mean Chen or Enchantress mostly. There's just too much pushing power with that hero combination. So I suppose the game is never officially over until the throne dies. But if you're 40,000 or almost 40,000 to 22,000 at 21 minutes in, almost double the gold bleed. It's looking pretty bad. Aurora and an Earthshaker illusion. Blink out from the Beastmaster. He blinked like 2 feet away. Kind of a midget blink if you ask me. Cast gonna be bouncing furiously here. These casts have been really irritating. Pipe is dropped. Second set of racks, most likely going down momentarily here. Crystal Maiden drops a big ultimate, immediately dies. Oh, Crystal Maiden not getting those lucky procs, not having the HP. This is not an Arth's art. Crystal Maiden, that is for sure. Gush, as well as Medallion, even Axe cannot withstand that damage. Impetus doing so much damage. Decent waveform, but again, the Witch Doctor heal. Big Ravage hitting 2 heroes. Looks like Morphling will die in the shadows of his own fountain. Oh, Echo Slam from Earthshaker. Pretty nice Echo Slam. I'm not sure if he TP'd in for that one. But in the end, just not enough. Everyone in the Radiant, far too tanky at this point. Spirit Graph, Gold Graph, definitely reflecting how one-sided this game was. Perfect execution from Harrosh. Crystal Maiden tried to go big or go home, and ultimately she went home. GG's coming out for both teams. Indeed, it was a GG. Well played by both teams. A very well executed performance by Harrosh. I gotta say, I was rooting for that Axe. I was rooting for him hard, but in the end, it was not enough. Axe is a very sort of momentum-based, luck-dependent hero. Let's be honest, he is very luck-dependent, and the luck was just not with him today. This is a best out of 1, so Harrosh will take the series, the 1-game series that it is, over WAM. So they will get the first. I believe this is the first win for non-qualifier play. This is actual. I don't know if you'd call it league play or just general play, whatever it is. This is the first official win for any team in the Pro Dota 2 Asian non-pro division. As Morphling not going to get fissure blocked in, some more fountain diving going out. I may have more games coming for you guys soon. I'll have to speak to Jaywalker, who's the admin, see if we can get any replays. I would love to cast that Dustbin versus Mini Mice game, as well as the other game, and the names of the teams are escaping me at the moment. But I'm not sure if we'll be able to now. If not, I may do a replay cast later today, whenever the replays are available. I'd like to cast as many games from this event as I can. Just some more fountain farming coming out. This is where Witch Doctor casts so annoying. Big Witch Doctor ultimate, gonna be picking up 1 kill. No, actually not gonna get anybody. Throne dies at the perfect time. There's your final score, folks. 29-14. Game not even lasted 24 minutes. Harrosh does get the win. Very well played by them in the end. That's it for game number 1, or for this series rather. I'll let you guys know if there's going to be another game momentarily. For now, stay tuned, enjoy some WoW Dota music, and I'll be back soon. And I also should add, I'm LD for anyone who's not familiar with me. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe to my Twitch. You can also subscribe to my other stuff, which I will put the links up to, well, not the links, but the information for up now. And yeah, support me if you have any feedback on the stream. I'm always open to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and hopefully we'll have another game coming back for you soon. So stay tuned. I'll update you as soon as I have more information.